So I got four pretty sweet ColdSteel knives I'm going to be showing you. This first one I'm going to be showing you is probably the least badass of the four. This is the ColdSteel Lite. Now we have the S35VN bayonet blade, which is only sharpened on one side, and then we have the aluminum scales. I'm not really sure why it's called the Lite. Like, you'd think the scales would be like titanium or something, but that is not the case. The scales are aluminum, but the scales do feel nice. They're very smooth and contoured with these nice milled holes in there. Adds a little bit of texturing, and the scales do offer a good ergonomic factor. I can say that. Now, this is obviously mainly designed for self-defense. The blade looks like it has like a bead blasted finish, and there's a few different options for deployment, all of which don't work super well in my opinion. I think the best option for deployment for this knife is the thumb stud, and the first few times I tried it I kind of struggled and it was pretty uncomfortable using the thumb stud, but now I think I got it to a point where it's fairly comfortable with the thumb stud. I'm not gonna lie, you just kind of got to get a feel for it. And then these other two options, like this thing, I'm not even sure what, like you can kind of push the blade out and then wrist flick it the rest of the way, which is kind of stupid in my opinion. And then this, you can like do like a type of front flip deal, or you can do a pocket flip, like you can open it with your pocket while pulling it out of your pocket, which works all right, I guess. But yeah, my go-to method would be the thumb stud, no doubt. The locking mechanism is a liner lock, which works pretty well. It locks the blade into place very nicely. It isn't the most easy lock bar to actuate, but it's fairly easy to get to. It has this little bit of a cutout. It's got this little cutout right here. It's also a cutout for the thumb stud in the closing position, but it also doubles as a cutout for the lock bar. And yeah, once you fidget with this knife a bit, you do start to get a hang of it. Got the typical ColdSteel pocket clip on there, which is not reversible, but not a huge deal. Then this next ColdSteel knife I'm going to show you, this one is a fixed blade. As you can see, this is the ColdSteel SRK. SRK stands for Survival Rescue Knife. This is a pretty sweet classic design from ColdSteel. And you can get these for around $50 from my understanding, and for that price, this is a pretty great fixed blade from what I understand. We have the rubberized handle, which feels really nice and like it's ready for hard use. Obviously not the most expensive option for handle material, but it's a great option for a hard use knife such as this, which is designed for hard use. Especially at the price range, you're not going to be afraid to actually beat on it. The blade is a drop point coated SK5 blade. Now SK5 isn't a super great steel or anything, but for the price it's pretty decent. From my understanding, it's fairly easy to sharpen. It has a decent balance of hardness and toughness to it. As you can see, the handle does have a bit of a contouring factor to it, which offers pretty great ergonomics. Like, you can really grab this thing. It feels like you can just, even in like hot, warm environments where your palms would be sweating, I think this handle would do very well. The sheath that comes with this is just a typical ColdSteel sheath that works pretty good. I honestly like these ColdSteel sheaths, even though it's just basically plastic, polymer, and just the nylon strap here, but it's a simple design. It is sturdy and it works pretty well. So I have no complaints on the sheath, though in my opinion on sheaths, I don't ever really use the belt strap for sheaths. I always will, like if this was my knife, I would remove the belt strap and replace it with a ulti clip. Now these next two knives are pretty special, I'm not going to lie. These are both AD-15s with aftermarket scales. Absolutely beautiful in my opinion. I think the AD-15 is one of ColdSteel's most popular folding knife models. It's famous for the scorpion lock here is what it's called. It's a super strong locking mechanism. It kind of does require two hands to open it, but I have kind of figured out how to actuate the lock with just one hand. And the action is mainly a slow roll type thumb stud action, though you can do a fast thumb flick. You just kind of really gotta use some force. You can even do a reverse flick on the thumb stud here. You just, same kind of deal, you really gotta force the blade out. We have the S35 VN blade steel with the satin finish, and then we have on both of these actually, we have the aftermarket, and then on both of these actually we have the aftermarket original goat scales. This one here is titanium and these ones are aluminum. Both of them just look absolutely sweet. And now both of these I think have a little bit of modding done to them. This one I think the lock has been anodized as well as the thumb stud. And then this one, interestingly enough, not only do both of these have the aftermarket scales, but this one has been reground from a flat grind to a hollow grind. And if you really look at it, it just comes down to a nice thin edge. And on this one, for some reason, the lock is a little bit more stiff, but the blade can be deployed a little bit easier. I'm not really sure why that is. We have the pretty sweet titanium back spacer on both of these. And then we have the deep carry pocket clips. This clip has also been anodized, as well as the lock mechanism and the thumb studs, which look really, oh, and the liners, it seems like, which looks really sleek with the color scheme of this one. If I had to choose one of these though, I think I would go with the chromed out, the black and chrome color scheme, just mainly because these scales are actually titanium, whereas the other ones are aluminum, and I'm more of a titanium guy myself. And also the action was a little funky at first, but once you get a hang of it, the slow roll action is pretty much perfect. You can also do the faster thumb flick action. You can even do the reverse flick action, which you really kind of gotta force it out with that one, but it works. Let me know what you think of these badass ColdSteel EDC knives. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss my daily EDC content, and peace.